The Lord of the Rings. The hunt for Gollum is, in many ways, a familiar beast. Based on the title alone, we can infer that Andy Serkis's upcoming Middle-earth movie will slot between The Hobbit and The Fellowship of the Ring in the Lord of the Rings timeline, and it'll be set at a time when all parties are hunting for the One Ring. Sauron, recently returned to Mordor after a long vacation, seeks his most precious creation. Gollum wanders the darkest corners of Middle-earth, cursing the name Baggins. Gandalf and Aragorn begin to seriously consider the possibility that Sauron is attempting to restore his full power by reuniting with the ring everyone believed lost. It's a period the Lord of the Rings mentions in passing, and viewers will know exactly how the landscape will look by the end. Nevertheless, the hunt for Gollum will reveal answers to mysteries that even the great J.R.R. Tolkien left unclear. Sauron's Mordor stronghold of Barad-dûr is one of the most important locations in The Lord of the Rings, and Peter Jackson's movies featured it heavily from the outside. Tall, black, imposing, Barad-dûr is pure architectural evil, with its shadowy spikes and regal form. But unlike Saruman's Tower of Orthanc, no one actually steps inside during The Lord of the Rings. Barad-dûr is only ever a background presence until its destruction at the hands of some hobbits. Even Tolkien left the details of Barad-dûr's appearance vague, never describing the structure in his characteristically detailed manner. That leaves the hunt for Gollum with a golden opportunity. Based on the hunt for Gollum's timeline and premise, part of the story should involve Gollum traveling to Mordor and being captured. He gets taken to Barad-dûr and tortured as Sauron seeks to learn the One Ring's whereabouts, at which point the prisoner gives up the Shire as a location. Gollum is then released, as Sauron hopes the creature will lead the way to the ring. The artist formerly known as Smeagol becomes a very rare example of a character who is taken to Barad-dûr and lives to tell the tale. There's a very brief scene depicting Gollum's torture in the Fellowship of the Ring, but other than a cavernous backdrop and some painful-looking contraption, it's hard to discern anything of substance. It's not even clear whether the interrogation is taking place in Barad-dûr or elsewhere in Mordor. But the hunt for Gollum is Gollum's story, his perspective. The audience needs to feel his fear after being captured and incarcerated, and that means Barad-dûr must become a fully realized cinematic location, just like Rivendell or Mount Doom in Peter Jackson's trilogy. From the dungeons to the halls, finally witnessing the menacing grandeur hiding within Barad-dûr will be something to behold in live action. Not only an awesome spectacle, but brand new insight into the mind of Sauron. When it came to dark forces, J.R.R. Tolkien deliberately left much to the imagination. Morgoth, Sauron, Barad-dûr, the physical descriptions of all three are only ever discussed in ambiguous terms, leaving the reader to conjure up frightening images all of their own. If the hunt for Gollum enters the depths of Barad-dûr, it'll certainly have a lot to live up to. Can a live-action imagining of Middle-earth's most evil place truly do justice to the terrifying imaginary versions that have sat inside viewers' minds for decades? The nearest reference point we have from Peter Jackson's movies would be the Tower of Orthanc. Saruman's home is visually striking, stunningly ornate, and unlike anything else in The Lord of the Rings or the wider cinematic landscape.